You're live! Alright. Welcome to Comicgeddon TV. I am your host here, Retro John. And I'm over here watching YouTube and I'm watching a bunch of videos. And I'm looking at people on Facebook and they're just happy that Solo, a Star Wars story, is not had a good opening weekend. So I'm here to say it's sad because it really is a fun movie. And as such, I figured it is time to do a Solo, a Star Wars story review. Because I saw the movie. I saw the movie Thursday. I thought about doing a review then, and I was like, well, I want to see how this thing does. I want to see what other people say. First and foremost, it is a fun movie. The fact that you may have a beef with this Kathleen Kennedy, uh, don't let that sway you. I know a lot of people want her out, but I mean, don't deprive yourself. I'll get it right yet. Of a good time, because Solo is not Last Jedi. Solo really is a fun movie. Um, I dare say it's a good movie. I think everybody did a fantastic job in this movie. I will admit that it took me about maybe 30 minutes to get into the idea here that, and I can't remember the guy's name, the new Han Solo, and it is Han Solo, not Han Solo. We find this out in the movie, and yeah, it took me about 20, 30 minutes to actually get into him being Han Solo. But I mean, once your mind fixes itself that this is not Harrison Ford, you're not getting Harrison Ford. Once you get through that, because you're not disappointed, you know it's not going to be Harrison Ford. You're told it's not going to be Harrison Ford in the trailers and all the promotional materials. So you go in here and let your mind adjust. We have 41 years. 41 years to the day that Solo was released, actually, on the May 25th. We had all this retraining to do that we're used to Harrison Ford being Han Solo. So, but I mean, the action is great. The story is great. No, I won't say great. Everything's good. Everything's really good. Everything's really great. Um, I think the cast did a fantastic job. I really do. I think they really, really managed to pull it off. So, what we have here is it's an origin story for Han. For Han. I'll get into that in a minute. So we have the movie open up with Han being chased by I believe somebody who he wronged. He kind of cheated him in a deal or something, and he gets in this speeder car thing. We see it in the trailer, that little blue thing, and he's speeding away. We got a nice little car chase, um, land speeder chase, whatever. Uh, we get introduced to um, the female lead character who is played by, why can't I think of any names right now? um, the freaking Mother of Dragons on Game of Thrones. She's in it. We get introduced to her character, and she does a really good job. Everybody does a really fantastic job. They really do. So things happen. He has to run away again. He has to run, um, and he gets separated from his companion here, and he finds himself the only way to completely run and hide away is to join the Empire, which is kind of canon because I believe in the novels, he did end up joining the Empire, and in this, he joins the Empire. He wants to learn to be a pilot, He's the best pilot. He wants to be a pilot, and this is actually, again, it's in the description. Spoiler warning: there are going to be spoilers. This is where we find out that Han doesn't know his last name. He doesn't know his last name. So this Imperial Guard Says, so you're by yourself, so Han, Solo. So this is where we get the last name. This is where we find out where Han gets his last name, which I think is brilliant. I love that. I love the fact that we find out that he's essentially an orphan who doesn't know who he is. And that's very Star Wars-esque. It really, really is. And then we find out where he gets his last name from. Solo. Because he's by himself. Which, again, other than Chewie, makes perfect sense for the Han character. So he ends up joining the Empire. He ends up in this, and of course, in their intergalactic war. And he's not happy. He's not happy because he's not flying. He's not a running, shooting guy, you know, and he doesn't exactly feel the Empire is in the right, really. And this is where he finds Woody Harrelson's character, some not bounty hunters, but scoundrels. You know, they work for a living and steal stuff for a living, and he gets introduced to these guys, and in the process of getting to know these guys, my cat, he ends up in a prison with the Beast who hasn't eaten in like 3 or 4 days. So he's thrown in there with the Beast, and he's fighting with the Beast, and we find out the Beast is a Wookiee named Chewbacca. So that's pretty cool. And this is how Han and Chewie meet for the first time. And we find out humorously, in a way, how Chewbacca got the nickname Chewie. You'd think it would be obvious. It is, but it's still kind of cool that we got this. Once him and Chewbacca escape this prison together, and he asks him, what is your name? He goes, Chewbacca. Well, I'm not going to say that every time. We got to think of a nickname for you. And he doesn't say it then, but he is, throughout the movie, at some points, by other characters called Chewie. So, again, really cool. Not needed, but I mean, it was still a nice, cool touch. And like I said, this movie is filled with moments like that. Little moments that you're just like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so Han gets with these bounty hunters, or these scavengers, my mind is a blank tonight, I swear. Probably not a good time to do a review if my mind's all... my mind's actually kind of on something else at the moment. Anyway. So, he gets with Woody Harrelson's group. And they accept him, and him and Chewbacca, and they decide, okay, well, we have this job we have to do. We do this job, everybody gets paid, and of course they end up attempting to do this job, and the job goes south. We lose some people, and so then from there, Woody Harrelson has to go to the guy who hired him and say, hey, things went south, this is what happened. And he's trying to talk to this guy, he's trying not to die. Now his boss, Voss, I think the guy's name, is played by Bentley. Vision from the Avengers movie. God, I can't think of names. Peter Bentley? Is that right? Vision from the Avengers. He hired him, and he's ready to kill Woody Harrelson. And that's when Han steps in and goes, hey, I know a way we can write this. And this is where we get the plan to get these minerals, or this energy. They have to steal this energy, which is what they botched to begin with. Han goes, I know a way we can get more. It's unstable. We'll have to race to go to the nearest place to get it stabilized, but I know how to do it. And this is where we get the Kessel Run. They have to go, and they have to get this unrefined stuff, this energy. But they need a ship to do this. Han needs a fast ship to do this. And everybody knows if you need a fast ship, you get the Millennium Falcon. So we get introduced to Lando Calrissian. Excuse me. We get introduced to Lando Calrissian. Han wants to bet his ship which is this amazing ship that he doesn't really have. And Lando says, okay, I'll bet my Millennium Falcon. That's my Lando. It's bad. Not even a good Billy D. But Han loses. Surprise! Han loses. And so, but Lando is agreed, of course, for some change, to help them, to take them to Kessel to get this spa energy. And of course, a bunch of stuff happens. A lot of action happens. Again, I'm not trying to give a whole spoil the entire story away, but so I'm not going to tell everything unless it's important to the review here. But things happen. They get back into Millennium Falcon. It happens to where Lando can't drive the Falcon. It's up to Han. Han, this, by the way, is where we find out when Han and Lando first meet. Han calls Lando Captain Lando Calrissian, and then Lando refers to him as Han, to which Han responds, it's Han. But anyway, because if you realize in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, Lando constantly refers to Han Solo as Han. Is Han. We can still save Han. Han's not going to be happy, you know, it's Han. But anyway, so Lando can't drive the Millennium Falcon. Han gets in this driver's seat. And he gets to drive the Falcon. And we find out that how the Millennium Falcon was able to run the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs. Basically, he took a shortcut. He took a shortcut. So there you go. That's that. And they end up at the planet. And again, I'm not good on the new planets for the new movies. Still not completely familiar with all of them. But they end up on the planet in Rogue One, where obviously it's 11 years before A New Hope, so it's roughly about 11 years before Rogue One. Before that planet blows up, they end up there to refine this energy. And so, of course, they get there just in time. It gets refined. We're introduced again to these other Marauders who prevented Han and Woody Harrelson from robbing that train to get that energy to begin with. And we find out that these Marauders aren't Marauders. They're not bad people. They're actually the beginning of what possibly could be the future Rebel Alliance. It's kind of like the ball rolling in a little bit. So we have Han, who's starting to get that little soft spot in his heart. They want this energy to help them. Of course, they need to get this energy back to Voss, or Voss is going to kill them. So it's kind of like do the right thing or live, do the right thing or live. Han, of course, as we know, ends up having a plan. And he does, of course, end up doing the right thing, which ends up backfiring, kind of. Because it turns out that Woody Harrelson's character doesn't want anything to do with this plan. He walks away. And we find out, well, Woody Harrelson's character set Han up with Voss by telling Voss the plan. But as another twist, Han knew that Woody Harrelson's character was going to turn on him. And he had a backup plan. And all hell breaks loose. There's fire, there's gunfire. Woody Harrelson ends up stealing this energy source and basically kidnapping, forcing Chewbacca to help him. So, at gunpoint, Chewie did not willingly help. So we get this big fight between Han Solo and Han's woman, who he did end up meeting back up with later on. She's working. She's presumably forcibly with Voss. So she helps Han defeat Voss. And she says Han needs to go stop Woody Harrelson, and she'll stay there, and she'll get all those diamonds and golds and stuff, pick them up, and join him. So Han meets up with Woody Harrelson's character, and who says, you have one more lesson to be taught, kid. And before he even gets to finish, Han shoots first. saves this energy source, saves Chewbacca. The energy source, of course, is going to probably end up getting distributed back to these um, rebel marauder guys. But as he does that, he sees this ship that his girlfriend is on start to take off. And the reason being is Voss had a boss. He answered to somebody. And who he answered to is this guy in a hologram on this throne with a cloak. You're like, oh, it's the Emperor, but it doesn't sound like the Emperor. Did not get Ian McDiarmid's voice? But it's not Ian McDiarmid. It's not the actor who played Emperor Palpatine, because it's not Emperor Palpatine. Because she's talking to this hologram who we think's Emperor Palpatine, but we know by voice it's not Emperor Palpatine. So he takes his hood off, and it's Darth freaking Maul. Back in live action form, and it is Ray Park, and the voice is actually done. I could not think of his name. I'm bad with names tonight, I swear. He provided the voice for Clone Wars and Rebels. He provided Darth Maul's voice for that, so they did get that actor's voice back. And you're thinking, oh yeah, because any Star Wars fan who's been following the movies, hey, how's it going? Who's been following the animated series Clone Wars and Rebels knows that he's still alive. What's going on here? I am doing a review on Solo, a Star Wars story. So, there are spoilers. I'm actually going over the main storyline right now. So, I just gave away the big surprise cameo at the end. And then I loved it. I really did. I thought it was a really fun movie. I thought all the actors did a great job. I said at the beginning of the video here, it took me about 20 or 30 minutes for my mind to work out that that's not Harrison Ford Solo. But once you get past that, I mean, he does a really good job. I think he did a great job for what he was able to, for what he was given, for all the pressure he was under. I think he did a fantastic job. Harrison Ford thinks he did a fantastic job. Ford has already seen the movie twice and has praised it both times, and he's not getting paid to do that. So, nor does he wish to promote a movie that he will never have anything to do with again. So when he says he actually likes this movie, you can bet that Harrison Ford loves this movie. So Harrison Ford, Han himself, gives it thumbs up. So, I myself gives it thumbs up. I love the movie. So, yeah, the movie ends. We have Han meeting back up with Lando, who took off, left them stranded on his planet. And he wants a rematch. He wants a rematch of Sabak. And he gets his rematch. But we find out how Lando managed to beat Han. He had a card up his sleeve. He had a little device that shot the card he needed out, right? Well, he greets Han. They hug, they embrace, and they sit down. He gives him his rematch for the Millennium Falcon. And he goes for his little card. His card ain't there. So he's stalling, trying to figure out what to do. Han goes, come on. I'm calling it. So Lando has no choice, right? No choice. He has to play his cards. He's got nothing. He's got nothing over what Han has. Han puts his guy and goes, I win. So that is how he officially won the Millennium Falcon. And to add salt to Lando's wound, he goes, if only you had this card. And threw it out on a table, proving that Han had stolen his card that he was going to cheat with. So, and he goes, I want it fair and square. Hence the line in Empire Strikes Back. He goes, your ship, hey, I want it fair and square. But Lando, the first game he won, he didn't win it fair and square. He lost it. So, but the movie ends with Han, and as it should. As this movie should. It was hinted at earlier by the Woody Harrelson character that there is a A big time gangster on Tatooine looking for some people for a job. And so this is where Han and Chewbacca are going to go in the Millennium Falcon. And you don't see Chewie really in the navigator seat anytime in the movie except at the end. And finally, you got the two guys, Han and Chewie, in the cockpit together. Punch it. Go to light speed. Credits. The way it should have ended, and it was awesome. I loved it. Does Chewie look younger? Not really. Not really. I mean, it's really. I think the Wookiees age really slow. So in the trailer and in the movie, when he says, 109 years old, you look great. So if this is 11 years before A New Hope, then that would make him 120 in A New Hope. So I hope I got my math right. Bad at names tonight. I can't think of any of the actors' names I'm talking about. So yeah, but that's I didn't stick around, but it's a Star Wars movie, so I haven't seen anything online. I didn't, so no post credit or any mid credit scenes or anything like that. So I didn't stick around for any of that. But yeah, all in all, I mean, the action was good. The actors did a fantastic job. There were some cameos, some little like blink and you'll miss some cameos. There is one droid who you can officially say has been in every single Star Wars movie, and it's not the golden one. It's not Goldenrod. Like I said, the huge cameo, which I won't say now. If you want to know, I said it earlier. You can go back and watch the video to find out the big cameo. But that big cameo alone would just seal the deal as far as I'm concerned, as far as how awesome this movie really was. And I think there was a lot of backlash because of the behind-the-scenes issues, changing the directors. The Last Jedi still has a really bad taste in people's mouths. Apparently, everybody's blaming this Kathleen Kennedy, which I can kind of see their point on her. But, I mean, don't let The Last Jedi damper anything. I mean, like I said, I went in with low expectations because of not so much because it looked like a bad movie, just because of the backlash because I know what happened behind the scenes of the movie. So, and I know that sometimes when you switch directors, and this happened with Justice League, they switched directors, which one director had one view and Joss Whedon had a completely different view, and it kind of really messed the movie up. I'm happy to say that that didn't happen here. I mean, it did, but it happened in a good way because the other two directors wanted a more Guardians of the Galaxy feel, which you could still kind of see in this movie. But when bringing Ron Howard in to fix that, he found a terrific balance. In my book, he found a terrific balance. And like I said, go see the movie. Some movies have specials on certain days of the week. AMC theaters on Tuesdays. You can go see a movie on a Tuesday for $5. Go on a Tuesday after work or before work or something. If you're not, just go on Tuesdays if you're able to, and just spend the $5 if you don't want to spend a lot of money. But I highly suggest going to see this movie. Don't boycott this movie. Don't miss an opportunity to see a fun movie just because you have a sour taste in your mouth of The Last Jedi. I had some major issues, probably a lot of the issues people had with Last Jedi, but overall I enjoyed the film. It was by far not the best film. In fact, I would place it as far as just above Episode 2, and Episode 2 to me is the worst Star Wars movie they've done. So it goes just above Episode 2 in my book. And that's just because of how they handled Luke. Mark Hamill isn't even happy with that movie, but that's a whole other conversation. Talking about Solo. Solo is a really good movie. Absolutely enjoyed it. I highly suggest going to take a look at the movie. Don't go in there thinking, there's some kind of an agenda movie. Because, I mean, you can go to any movie and say, oh, there's an agenda here, there's an agenda there. Just go in, uh, go in expecting a fun movie. And you never know. You might actually think, oh my God, this is a really good movie. That was me. That was me. My expectations were low. And I wasn't disappointed. In fact, I was overly happy. You know, I kind of felt bad for not having higher expectations. And so, yeah. So there we go. There's my review of Solo, a Star Wars movie. I thank everybody who took place, took 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 the time and watched live and took part of the show and commented and gave their views. You're watching this later. By all means, please go ahead and comment. If you've seen the movie, please go ahead and comment below. Tell me what you thought of the movie. And please like, subscribe, share with your friends. It helps us out a lot here at Comicgeddon TV. And until next time, my friends, this is Retro John, and I am out!